For Reader's Workshop today, we're going to read a book called Elephants, Giant Mammals, written by Jane Ling. Before we even get any further into this book, do you think this is a nonfiction or a fiction book? Just by looking at the cover. Maybe you notice that it's a real photograph. It's not a drawing, it's not a cartoon, and the title is Elephants. Does that sound like something that might be real facts? Yeah, I think so too. So this is a nonfiction book, and we're going to use the pictures today to help us learn more about elephants and see if we can get some clues from the pictures to help us with the words. All right, here we go. Elephants, giant mammals. Sometimes when you're reading a nonfiction book, you'll see something called the table of contents. Has anyone ever seen a table of contents in their books? When we're reading fiction, instead of a table of contents, sometimes we have something called chapters. It tells us what's coming up. Well, a table of contents does the same thing. It tells us what's going to be in this book. While we're doing our own nonfiction writing, when we're doing our all about writing, we have a different idea on every page about our topic. It's kind of like this. In this book, there's elephants are number 1. There's a section called Take a Look. There's a section called Two Kinds of Elephants, Growing Up and Up, Don't Eat Me, Splitting Up, Plenty of Plants, Asian and African Giants. And then there's something called the glossary at the end. We're not going to read the whole book today during Reader's Workshop. We're going to read a couple of the sections. So let's start with the first one. Elephants are number 1. And I'm going to take a minute and look at the picture before I go on. I'm going to use my finger to scan over the pictures so I look closely at different parts. I can see that this is an elephant. He looks like he's running. I see in the background, it's not very colorful. It's kind of brownish. I see that the elephant is gray in color. I see he has 4 legs. This long thing right here, that's his trunk. I know that already. He's got some big ears. Look at those ears. And he even has a tail in the back. So I've already learned some things about an elephant just from looking carefully at the picture. Let's go to the next page. Elephants are number 1. Elephants are huge. They are much, much bigger than the biggest human. They are the biggest land animals on Earth. Wow, the words just told me that they're one of the biggest animals. They're the biggest land animal on Earth. Now let's look at the picture. Well, looks like there's a picture of a person up here, and then there's pictures of 2 different elephants. Wow, those elephants are much bigger than the size of that person. This is showing me how big the elephants are in compared to a grown-up person. Holy moly, that's awfully big. And it looks like there are some kinds of elephants that are bigger than others. Interesting. So I learned some more things just from looking at the picture. And I used my finger to make sure I noticed all the things in the picture. Sort of like when we're reading, we point with our finger. Well, when we're reading the pictures, especially with nonfiction, we're going to point with our finger to the pictures. Let's see what else we can find out. This section is called Take a Look. Elephants are covered with thick thick gray or brown skin. I had to work on that. I'm going to go back so I can make it smooth. Elephants are covered with thick gray or brown skin. They have long noses called let me go back and start at the beginning of that sentence. They have long noses called their noses. Their noses are called trunks. Let's see if that word would make sense if it was trunks. Trunks. That makes sense. It sounds right, it looks right, and it makes sense. They have long noses called trunks. Let's look at the picture with our finger. I see a big elephant. This time I see it's not brown like that was before. There's green grass, blue skies. This elephant looks different from the first elephant that I saw. Let's go back for a minute and look. What do you notice that's different about this elephant and this elephant? Look again. Take a look at this elephant and this elephant. This elephant looks a lot bigger, but he also looks like he's older. I see these white things coming down on this guy. He looks much bigger. This guy looks like he's a younger one. Maybe he's a baby. His ears are not that big compared to the other guys, and he doesn't have those white things on his coming out next to his trunk either. Look at the size of that guy's ears. I'm wondering if grown-up elephants have these white things that come off. I'm going to have to keep that in mind as I'm reading more of my book. I also wonder, see this, his trunk ear is kind of like curved up right there. That's kind of interesting. I wonder why that is. Something else we do while we're looking at the pictures in a nonfiction book, good readers ask questions to themselves. We wonder and think things as we're reading. And we might find out the answer to those questions, but we might not. But it gets us thinking about the topic. So I'm thinking, I wonder if I'm going to find out what these are called. I wonder if they're going to tell us how old elephants get when they look like this compared to the first one. Let's keep going and find out. Elephants use their, there's that word again. Elephants use their trunks to breathe and make noise. They also use their trunks to grab food and suck up I'm gonna look at the picture. These guys they're playing around. Look at, he's blowing this water out from his trunk as they're swimming. Oh, wait a minute. And suck up would that work if the word was water? Let's see. They also use their trunks to grab food and suck up water. Water. That looks right if it's water. It sounds right if it's water. And it makes sense. Looking at the picture, I can see that there looks like it's a baby and a mom elephant together. So the elephants must stay together. The other elephants we saw were by themselves, but looks like elephants don't always stay by themselves. I also see them blowing the water. This says they suck up water, but it looks like they might do something else with the water too. Like he might be playing or squirting with the water. I wonder what he's doing. I can't wait to find out. I'm going to read more of my book about elephants. Now it's your turn to read for Reader's Workshop. Now it's been beautiful weather. You might want to take your book or if you have a tablet that you're reading on Epic or Raz Kids and go outside. Remember, if you're an avid reader, avid readers read everywhere. I like to read outside. Maybe you can read outside too. I want you to remember when you're reading, we're using the pictures, okay? Not just for fiction, but for nonfiction too. All right, have fun and get reading.